So in this video, we are going to discuss a very important topic of electrochemistry, that is corrosion. Okay, this is very important, and repeatedly after every year, this is asked in the board that what is the process of corrosion. Okay, so we will discuss that in detail. See, what is corrosion? Corrosion is the slowly coating of any metal surface with its oxides. Okay, for example, we commonly see rusting of iron. Iron is getting rust, right? That is because of the formation of the oxide layer over the iron. Okay, so what is corrosion? It is the slowly coating of oxides of surface with oxides or other salts. Okay, now its best example that we commonly see is that of the rusting of iron. Okay, now this corrosion, when the iron gets rusted, it causes damage to the buildings, okay, to the flyovers, to a number of government properties, okay, and a number of things of iron which are exposed to the environment. Okay, so it is very much responsible for that damage, okay, because of the rusting, because of the formation of that oxide layer. Now the question is that how that oxide layer is formed. Okay, what is the process of that we are going to discuss. What happens when it is exposed, when a matter is exposed to the air and the water vapors, then a particular spot of that particular metal, okay, a particular spot of the metal that starts behaving as anode. Okay, a particular spot on metal that starts behaving as anode. Okay, then if that start acting as anode, then what is happening at that anode, that iron, it is getting oxidized. Okay, that iron atom, that is getting oxidized. Okay, now at any other point of that metal, in that metal at any other point, that is acting as cathode. In that metal only, that any other point, it is acting as cathode. And what is happening over there? This oxygen along with protons and these electrons which are forming at anode, okay, they are forming water molecules. Okay, first at anode, what is happening? This iron, it is getting oxidized. Okay, and at any other point which is acting as cathode, this oxygen along with these protons and electrons, it is forming water. Okay. Now these ferrous ions, what will happen now? These ferrous ions, they will further oxidized to ferric ions. Okay, and now with these ferrous ions along with the water, okay, these will be getting oxidized into ferric ions, means Fe2 positive, which was forming over here, okay, with the help of this water which was formed at cathode, it will convert itself into these Fe3 positive ions into the ferric ions. Okay, now these ferric ions, these will come out at the surface as rust. Okay, these ferric ions comes out on surface as rust. Okay, so this is exactly the process of corrosion which you have to explain. Very important. It is asked directly in 5 marks question in the board exam. What is corrosion? That is coating of surface with oxide and salts layer. Best example is rusting of iron. Okay, tarnishing of silver and copper utensils also. Okay, and a particular spot in that metal that will start behaving as anode, where these iron is getting oxidized into the ferrous ions, and at any other point which will act as cathode, oxygen along with protons and electrons is forming the water. Okay, and then These ferrocyands, these will oxidize into the ferricyands, and these ferricyands, they will form the rust. Okay. Now, how iron can be, how these materials, these can be protected, protection from corrosion. Why? Because it causes a lot of damage. Corrosion causes a lot of damage, such as flyovers, they get damaged, and this iron is used in a number of building materials, okay? And it will uh, lead to the weakening of those buildings, okay? Now, how it can be protected? By painting. Painting that substance or those articles, okay? In that painting, a specific chemical is added. The name of that chemical is bisphenol, okay? By doing the painting on that, on those articles, by painting them, by adding a chemical which is called as bisphenol, it will help a lot to reduce this process of rusting. Along with that, on iron articles specifically, there is a layer of zinc which is deposited. Okay. Zinc deposition on these iron articles or silver articles, there is a layer of zinc which is formed over them. Okay. Because zinc is very less reactive. So there is a very thin layer of zinc which is deposited on these articles, and they can be protected from corrosion. This process is called as galvanization. So in this way, the corrosion that can be protected.